In the beginning, before time and the existence of life as we know it, there was only Ginnungagap, a vast primordial void, also called the Yawning Void. From this cosmic canvas emerged two contrasting realms, like the clash of titans. Muspelheim, the primordial realm of heat and fire, and Niflheim, the primordial realm of frost and ice, collided in a cosmic clash. As time wore on, the two opposing realms encroached upon one another. This caused the frost of Niflheim to melt under the heat of Muspelheim. From the vapors of the melting ice emerged two beings of great importance. The first giant, Ymir, and Audumbla, the primeval cow. With nothing to satiate her hunger, Audumbla fed on the ice of Niflheim. At the same time, she nursed Ymir with her milk, allowing him to grow in strength. However, the ice was not enough to feed Audumbla. As she insatiably fed on the ice for 3 whole days, something magical happened. From deep within the ice, Buri, the progenitor of the Aesir gods and the grandfather of Odin, was born. As time passed, Ymir gave rise to a race of frost giants known as Jotun. The Jotunar were powerful, often chaotic beings associated with natural elements like ice and sometimes fire. They were of immense size and played roles in both conflicts and alliances with the Aesir gods. Meanwhile, Buri fathered a son by the name of Bor, who would go on to change the course of the cosmos. As Bor grew, he eventually took an interest in a giantess named Bestia and took her as his consort. Together, these two divine beings gave rise to 3 significant figures in the Norse pantheon of gods, Odin, Vili, and Ve. Odin would later become the All-Father and the chief of the Aesir gods. He's associated with wisdom, war, poetry, and magic. Odin is a complex figure, often depicted as a seeker of knowledge who sacrificed an eye at Mimir's well for wisdom. He ruled over Asgard, the realm of the Aesir, and is accompanied by his ravens, Hugin and Munin, as well as the wolves Geri and Freki. Vili is one of the brothers of Odin, and together with Odin and Ve, he plays a crucial role in the creation of the cosmos. Vili is associated with the principle of will or desire. Vili was, in some ways, considered as Odin's equal. He emphasized the active, assertive, and desirous aspects of the divine consciousness. Ve is another brother of Odin and a participant in the creation of the world. Though their roles are often overshadowed by Odin, they were generally considered instrumental in the establishment of the cosmos. Ve's name is associated with the concept of sacred space or sanctuary. Ve's role was linked to cultural or ritual aspects, representing the sanctity and order inherent in Norse religious practices. Together, Odin, Vili, and Ve form a trio that committed an act that could be seen as heinous but crucial in shaping and ordering the Norse cosmos. The 3 brothers, Odin, Vili, and Ve, decided to go to war against Ymir and the giants. The brothers planned an attack at night while Ymir was still asleep. However, as they attempted to slay Ymir, they soon realized that it would not be so easy. Ymir awoke, and a climactic battle erupted between the brothers and the giants. The giants fought valiantly. However, the combined might of Odin, Vili, and Ve could not be underestimated. Ymir was eventually cornered and slayed by the brothers. The rest of the giants also fell victim to the might of the gods. All except for 2 giants, who managed to escape this bloodbath on a raft, Bergelmir and his wife. These 2 giants went on to repopulate the giants, and became the sworn enemies of the gods. The murder of Ymir, however, was not the end. Odin and his brothers took Ymir's body to the middle of the yawning void and severed it into pieces. From his body they created the 9 realms that existed. His blood became the waters of the sea, his flesh became the land on the earth, and his bones became the gravel, stones, and mountains. His hair became the trees, and using the skull of Ymir and the flames of Muspelheim, they created the sky and illuminated the realms. Through this process, they indirectly created the first humans, Ask and Embla, as well as the various races that stretched across the realms. During the celestial conflicts between the gods and the giants, Yggdrasil, the world tree, grew within the yawning void. It was a colossal tree, towering over the entire cosmos, its roots extending deep into the essence of reality, weaving a complex web that connected the 9 realms. This mighty ash tree held the secrets of existence, its branches stretched across the cosmos, while its roots plunged deep within Asgard, Jotunheim, and Niflheim. At the base of Yggdrasil's root in Asgard is the Well of Urd, a mystical well associated with fate and destiny. The Norns, female beings linked to fate, resided near this well, shaping the destiny of all beings. Various creatures inhabited Yggdrasil. A dragon named Nidhogg gnawed at the roots, an eagle perched on its branches, and a squirrel named Ratatoskr ran up and down the trunk, carrying messages between the eagle and Nidhogg. Yggdrasil played a significant role in many events throughout Norse mythology, even leading up to Ragnarok, the prophesied end of the world. During this cataclysmic event, the tree is foretold to shake, and its branches will tremble, signaling the onset of a time of upheaval and change. Yggdrasil carried a symbolic significance in Norse cosmology. It represented the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth. The tree's evergreen nature suggests enduring life, while its connections to fate, destiny, and the Well of Urd emphasized the role of cosmic order. The 9 realms that suspended on the branches and roots of Yggdrasil were each a distinct entity, holding within its essence unique characteristics. But these realms were not solitary islands. They shared permeable boundaries, like whispers between worlds. These worlds invited both mortals and deities to traverse the ethereal spaces, connecting their realms as one. The 9 realms were the following: Asgard, Jotunheim, Midgard, Muspelheim, Niflheim, Alfheim, Nidavellir, and Helheim. The realm of the Aesir gods, Asgard, approached the civilized perfection of the wise and powerful gods who ruled it. The city was surrounded by an impregnable wall. Within this divine abode, Odin, the All-Father, ruled alongside gods such as Thor, the thunderous deity with his mighty hammer, Loki, the mischievous trickster, and Baldur, the radiant and beloved god. As king of the gods, Odin held court in Valhalla, the realm's great hall. Valhalla served as the resting place for the souls of half of all fallen warriors. The other half went to Folkvangr, a field or meadow in Asgard, where Freya kept her abode. Despite its near-perfect state, Asgard still saw trouble from time to time. Much of Asgard was damaged or destroyed in the Aesir-Vanir War. Even in peaceful times, enemies continued to penetrate its boundaries and cause mischief. The power of Asgard extended throughout the 9 realms. A central tenet of Norse religion was the notion that the Asgardians cared for and sometimes antagonized the people of Midgard. The Rainbow Bridge, known as the Bifrost, connected the 2 realms, allowing gods such as Thor and Loki easy access to the mortal realm. The Asgardians also contended with the monstrous inhabitants of Jotunheim, whom they loathed for being antithetical to them in every way. Incursions into Jotunheim appeared frequently in Norse myth, and almost always ended in Asgardian victory. Jotunheim, home of the Jotun, was the opposite of Asgard in every regard. Whereas Asgard enjoyed the peace and prosperity associated with law and order, Jotunheim was consumed by the chaos and conflict wrought by its lawless inhabitants, which included giants and trolls and various other races. The realm was dominated by the fortress called Utgard, literally meaning beyond the fence, a reference to its position outside the civilized order. Loki, the trickster god of mischief, came from Jotunheim but lived in Asgard. He was believed to be at least half giant and, in some cases, full giant. Jotunheim was considered best avoided, but there are a number of tales involving gods of Asgard purposefully traveling there. Jotunheim was a common backdrop for the ongoing feuds between the Aesir and the Jotun. Tales of divine heroes journeying to Jotunheim to foil Jotun plots were common in Norse mythology. Jotunheim was separated from Asgard by the river Eving, which never froze and was difficult to cross. But Odin traveled to Jotunheim to Mimir's Well of Wisdom, and Thor also went there to the stronghold of the giant Utgarda Loki. Anything could happen to a person in Jotunheim, as the tale of Thor and Utgarda Loki makes clear. Nothing Thor experiences on his journey is what it appears to be, and, at the end of the story, the stronghold and everyone in it disappears. Midgard, also known as the Middle Enclosure, was the realm of humanity. Not as civilized as Asgard, nor as barbarous as Jotunheim, Midgard fell somewhere in between, hence its name. While the people of Midgard would never achieve the stable perfection of Asgard, due to their natural fallibility, they always strived to mirror it the best they could. The realm of human beings was first populated by Ask and Embla, from whom all other people are descended. After Odin, Veli, and Ve killed Ymir and created the world, they walked by the sea and found two trees, an ash and an elm. They created the first man from the ash tree and the woman from the elm. They understood, however, that these creatures were helpless and easy prey for the giants, and they created Midgard to protect them. Midgard was surrounded by a large body of water, which was encircled by the monstrous sea serpent Jörmungandr. Holding its tail in its mouth, the world serpent encircled the entire realm. Midgard was connected to Asgard via the Bifrost, a rainbow bridge that could be used by deities and mortals alike. During Ragnarok, a series of events prophesied to bring about the destruction of the world. Midgard was fated to host a great battle between Jörmungandr and Thor. The molten realm of heat and flame. Muspelheim was one of two realms that existed at the dawn of time. As mentioned before, Muspelheim's fires melted the ice of Niflheim, which resulted in the ensuing water droplets, forming Ymir, the first giant, and the receding glaciers revealing Buri, the progenitor of the Aesir tribe. During Ragnarok, the fires of Muspelheim would consume the world. The fire giant Surtur was said to inhabit this realm and would emerge at brink of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, to destroy Asgard and everything else. Surtur carried a flaming sword and was destined to battle the god Freyr. It was also said that during Ragnarok, Surtur would lead the sons of Muspelheim to invade the various realms, leaving fire and destruction in their path. The polar opposite to Muspelheim, Niflheim was a realm of ice and snow, which also existed at the dawn of creation. After the realm began to thaw from exposure to Muspelheim, its icy waters gave form to Ymir, the first giant. When its glaciers melted in the face of the molten heat, it exposed Audumla, the cow that nursed Ymir, and Buri, the first of the Aesir gods, who was frozen within Niflheim's glaciers. Cold and inhospitable, Niflheim was seldom visited by gods or mortals. Niflheim was a cold and misty realm where no one lived, not even the frost giants. Odin was said to have thrown Hel into Niflheim, and to have then given her power over the dead and the lives of those in the 9 realms. However, it was thought that she would have passed through Niflheim and into Helheim, where she ruled. Vanaheim is the home of the Vanir, the other family of Norse gods, who were associated with fertility and magic. The Aesir went to war with the Vanir, but precisely why is unclear. It may be the war was fought over various practices of the Vanir, which the Aesir considered unacceptable, such as allowing incest and practicing a kind of magic the Aesir thought dishonorable. Vanaheim was a mysterious realm, and the Vanir were known for their command of magic and divination. Whatever the war was about, it was concluded by a peace treaty in which hostages were exchanged, and the Vanir sea god Njord and his 2 children, Freyr and Freyja, went to live in Asgard. Freyja would go on to preside over her own realm of the dead somewhere in Asgard called Folkvangr, the Field of the People, which was as pleasant as Vanaheim, her home realm. Vanaheim was believed to be a fertile and pleasant realm of magic and light. The Vanir were fertility gods who were called upon for good harvests, sun, rain, and good winds, especially by the agrarian population, and for favorable weather conditions by the seafarers and fishermen. Alfheim was said to exist in the heavens, not far from Asgard itself. It was known as the home of the elves. In this majestic land, the luminous Ljósalfar, or light elves, resided. Alfheim was ruled by the Vanir deity Freyr, and it was said that there was an intimate connection between the mysterious elves and the magical Vanir. The elves are magical beings, bright and beautiful, who inspired the arts, music, and creativity. This mythological realm was thought to be inspired by the region by the rivers of Gota and Glom, between the borders of Sweden and Norway. The realm of Nidavellir, also called Svartalfheim, was below Midgard, deep in the earth, and the home of the dwarves who toiled there at their forges. It was a dark, smoky place lit only by the fires from the forge and the torches on the walls. The gods decreed this the realm of the dwarves based on their origin. The dwarves had come to life in the soil under the earth. The dwarves emerged first, finding life in the flesh of Ymir. They were maggots at that time, but by a decision of the gods, they acquired human understanding and assumed the likeness of men. Living in the earth and the rocks, the dwarves were associated with craftsmanship and magic. They created Thor's hammer Mjolnir and Odin's spear, and well as the god Frey's magic ship, which can be folded up and carried in his pocket. They are also responsible for the mead of poetry, which Odin steals from the giants and gives to the gods, who then inspire poets, through drink, to create their verse. Helheim, also known as Hel, was a dark, gloomy realm presided over by Hel, daughter of Loki, and sister of the Midgard serpent and Fenrir the wolf. When Loki's children were born, Odin knew they would cause trouble, and so sought to place each one where it would do the least harm. He placed the Midgard serpent in the seas which surround the world, had Fenrir chained up, and threw Hel into a dark realm beneath the roots of Yggdrasil. This realm was then surrounded by a wall with only one gate, and could only be reached by traveling downhill on a long path, known as Helveg, the way or road to Hell. Hel herself is depicted as a giantess, glum and brooding. For reasons which are unclear, her realm became associated with the souls of the dead, which did not die in battle, and, initially at least, those who died from disease or old age. In time, it became the most populous realm of the dead, and most people who died were thought to travel to Hel's dark realm, where they wandered in a kind of twilight, but otherwise did more or less what they had done while alive. While Helheim was not a place of overt punishment or torture, it was nevertheless a bleak place that mortals feared. Determining who went to Helheim or why was not always easy. The great hero god Balder, among others, is said to have gone to Hel when, considering his status, should have gone to Valhalla instead. As we close this chapter of Norse mythology, remember the tale that began with Ginnungagap, the primordial void that birthed the first two realms, Muspelheim and Niflheim. Without this void, Ymir, the first giant, and Audumbla, the primeval cow, would have never emerged. The legacy of the first gods, Buri, Bor, Odinvili, and Ve, continues to echo through the annals of time. For without them, the 9 realms as we know it would cease to exist. Asgard, realm of the Aesir, witnessed Odin's rule, Thor's thunder, and Loki's mischief, while Jotunheim embodied chaos. Midgard, home to humanity, strived for balance. Muspelheim's flames and Niflheim's frost birthed giants and gods. Vanaheim's magic, Alfheim's mystical elves, Nidavellir's dwarves, and Helheim's shadows all played their roles and added depth to the cosmos. The celestial tree, Yggdrasil, anchored the realms with its roots in the well of Urd shaping destiny. As Ragnarok loomed, a time of upheaval, Yggdrasil would tremble, signaling the beginning of the end. Creation and destruction intertwined, forging a saga of gods, giants, and mortals. A timeless myth echoing through the branches of Yggdrasil, eternally woven into the very fabric of existence.